I know. Hi. Hi, how are you guys? I know that it has been a very long time since I played. I've actually had non-stop problems. We had a big update in between when Solstice released, and then about a week later there was a big update, and I kept crashing. And I would
We
set
can
aside
use
some
this.
time and do some troubleshooting, and the troubleshooting wouldn't get me anywhere. And then there was a graphic card update today, and suddenly it seems like I'm working. And the interesting thing was, there was in the patch notes for the update, the graphic card update, it had referenced a bug in Elder Scrolls and an issue. So I'm crossing my fingers, and it was really frustrating if that is truly what the bug was, because I wasted so much time over the last couple months trying to fix this. I was thinking it was add-ons, so I'd uninstall all the add-ons. And if you've ever messed with the add-ons are so time-consuming to install and uninstall and install and uninstall. And so the fact that it wasn't them. Anyway, we're back. I'm going to try continuing on with Solstice. It's been so long, I kind of don't remember what's going on. I may have to go back and watch one of my videos to refresh my memory. We're kind of running along, seeing what we've got.
What a novel setting. Might want to come back here someday.
I think there's supposed to be a note around here somewhere. I have everything. So if I remember right, something came back. One of the bad guys came back. Join the Black Worm. That's right. The Black Worm came back after being defeated at the end of what would be considered the game. The Black Worm has come back, and so now they're doing these like quarterly updates of releases of story. I don't know. There's some drama with that. I'm kind of staying out of it. Anyway, I have joined the Order of the Black Worm, fellow necromancer and followers of the dark arts. If this note has come to your possession through a reanimated crow or an ambulatory skeleton of a long-dead sloth, then I bid you salutations and congratulations. Your efforts in necromancy have attracted our notice, hence this opportunity to practice your skills in the service of dark powers as a member of the Order of the Black Worm. Imagine no more need to hide, to pretend that you are something other than what you are, to work and study alongside like-minded individuals, all striving to achieve a common goal. Okay, the monster that's groaning in the background can stop. In the order you were assigned your own quarters, a bed to sleep on, workspace to continue your research in necromancy, and hot meals whenever you please. As necromancers, we must make full use of the dead, and what other purpose does a corpse serve? Death is only the beginning. We command death. It binds us and connects us. Imagine the power of a dozen, 100, no, 1,000 necromancers working side by side. We will be unstoppable. Will you continue to hide within the culture that once had a proud necromantic tradition but now considers it an anthem, practicing your gifts in fear? Or will you join us and fully embrace your true potential as a necromancer? The choice is yours, and the Order of the Black Worm is waiting. The funny thing is if this character hadn't come to exist, I would have gone with the Necromancer for something different. But Necromancy is a little bit more difficult to practice because it is illegal in the game. And if you're caught doing it, there's consequences.
Accumulate wealth and smile all the while.
But it seemed like a fun idea at the time. Alright, that is a group dungeon. Is it a group or public? There's a quest right above here. so many monsters? Why is there so many monsters?
Ugh! Dirt fungus.
Oh, Xander. Xander, why did you get me in the pit? It's a terrible idea.
Tides grant me aid in these troubled times. Mainlander, the tide washes you toward me, just when I need aid the most.
What seems to be the problem?
I am Tirad, a death dancer for the Tideborn Argonians. Recently, 3 of our warriors were killed in battles against the Worm Cult. Before I can perform the rites to guide their spirits to the void, I need someone to recover their tidal votives.
Tidal votives? Oop. Tidal votives.
Consecrated items that are unique and personal to the individuals who died. While I prepare the grave stakes and rituals, will you talk to their spirits and locate the missing votives? I will, of course, generously compensate you.
Sure, I'll help you recover the missing votives.
We recovered the bodies of Laras Il, Druni, and Vutraka at these sites. Use this sacred scallop shell to consult with their spirits. Ask them where to find their votives, recover them, and bring them to the gravestake field at Shelltide Village.
What will you be doing while I recover the missing votives?
One of the tasks set before the Death Dancers is to help the spirits of those who died violent or unnatural deaths reach their proper place in the afterlife. This requires complex rituals that take time to prepare. All will be ready when you return.
What exactly are tidal votives?
Every member of the tribe receives a tidal votive when they come of age. These consecrated objects, connected to the sea and to the island, reflect the vocation and character of their owner. They might be shells, coral, or even the bones of fish.
Okay. I'm not gonna ask why do I need to collect them, because it doesn't matter.
Another chance at perfection.
I'm actually no part of any guilds anymore because I was having so many problems, and I admit my attention span of fixing problems like this it's very narrow. I lose interest really quickly. So I kept trying and it didn't work. Hold on. Oh. I'm trying to have a conversation here and you're just all up in my way. Sorry, Xander, I got kind of trapped around the corner. You got it. And so, I would set some time to the side, and I would, come in and see what I could do. I searched the internet for, people saying, what they had problems. I can tell you that ChatGPT is useless in these kind of situations. Anyway, I kept trying, and then I'd grow bored, and nothing would fix, and it just... I was like, alright, I'm done.
awakens me from this uneasy slumber?
T-Rad needs your title votive to complete your funerary rites.
My votive? Yes, I suppose the Death Dancer would need that, now that I am dead. I kept my votive near the hatching pools. I always cared about nurturing the eggs. Perhaps I'll see them again when I am returned to the Currents.
This. I'm guessing. But anyway, since I was having all these problems, none of the guilds were like really pressuring me about like why was I missing. But I also did not like the pressure of like feeling like I was letting them down because I wasn't signing in and participating in like the guild trade things. Which, you know, not a big deal, but still, I felt bad. So I just left all the guilds. I never saw clouds as dark as these, or heard the wind howl so loudly. Coxswain Belvid says there's no avoiding the storm. If we don't sell fast enough, we're dead. If this contract falls through, I'm as good as dead. If I make a bad decision, the crew will turn on me and I'll be dead. Cheery thoughts, I know. I have a plan, a way to make it to shore and fulfill the contract. These volcanic pearls will have more luck staying intact in the sea than they will aboard a rolling ship. Once we make it to the northwestern side of the island and the village of Shorestan, I'll send my crew after them. If they make it to land, we'll find them. Or if someone else finds them first, bring the pearls to us. We know how to strike a bargain that's worth your while. Okay, I'll bring your pearls. Apparently there is steaming baths. I think I checked those out. I do remember checking it out. We're going this way. Map's freaking out just a tiny, tiny, itsy-bitsy little bit. I should gather the volcanic pearls and bring them to Captain Genevieve. Oh, fine.
Make better choices.
I always wonder if he's talking to me or the monster. Probably talking to me, right?
Mora's twitching tentacles. I'm glad that's done. Quality material makes for quality goods.
Alright. One votive done. Going. There was a book for a second, and then the icon disappeared. I'm not gonna stress over it. Oh, there, it's back. And then it's gone. What's going on, Minimap? There it is. The humble Fanic Gawk. When you study to become a healer, there is an unspoken acceptance that the perks of this profession will be few and far between. Medicinal research is so often undercut by magical remedies. If one can find, or even afford one, the rural and the downtrodden could gain more use from poultice and wickweed and bleeding crowd than any visit to the local, or usually not so local, temple. With nothing to be said of the extortionary tithes these healer priests expect. That being said, when I was approached to accompany the Stirk Fellowship to Solstice, I was ecstatic. Finally, recognition for what those in our trade are capable of. Our knowledge of herbology and our ability to examine and extract use from even the strangest and most unfamiliar of plants makes us vital in efforts such as this. Of course, Solstice being a verdant, tropical island certainly had an effect on my decision. Me too. I knew the journey would be treacherous and the work grueling, but I hadn't expected a simple route to so capture my attention. Fanic, its name, gel for faded mud, is a plant I'm quite familiar with. I've seen it used in Dreamwallow rituals in Murkmire, sold as a pickle treat in Shadowfen, and even gifted as a window hanging in Blackwood. And while it is commonplace in the regions of Blackmarsh, I was quite surprised to find the plant growing here in Solstice. A tropical island is as different from a swamp as sand is from ash, so I dug in to find more. Fanic is primarily a root. I cultivated a few in my time, but I've never seen them progress beyond their knotted and bulbous root structure. I had theorized for some time that we herbologists were simply unable to meet the environmental needs of the plant, but Saxlel healers assured me that that wasn't the case, and because it offers no dietary or seasoning benefits, it remains uncultivated. But that's exactly how our scale neighbors want it to stay. Fanic holds a certain esteem within Saxel culture and the Tideborn. Argonians native to Solstice are no different. Tide reader Sohath and the religious leader of Shell Tide Village explained to me that Fanic is primarily used during the rites of Chukasais and Saxel coming-of-age tradition. During this tradition, the Fanic is muddled into a brew that transports the imbiber into a dreamwallow, a type of active dream or vision. Dreamwallows are not uncommon, but there's a divergence here worth noting. In Murkmire, the Dreamwallow is seen as a sort of a communion with the Hist. On Solstice, however, the Hist plays no part in the ritual. Suha simply said that the Hist has long been silent on the island of Solstice, and their beliefs and rituals reflect as such. He also explained that the name instead translated to faded sand, revealing a curious inflection in gel, donated wet or dry. Still, how curious it is to find the swamp root on this island. An island which I have since confirmed still harbors at least one hist tree, though it is currently beyond our reach. With this in mind, humor and old healer and herbologist musings. I posit that the Fanic is an indirect product of the hist tree. Not a fruit, a seed, or a sporling exactly, but a side effect of its presence. It has been some time since I examined a hist tree, and the Saxel are, unsurprisingly, protective of them. But the Fanic features similar striations in color. Its outer skin, when dried, is not dissimilar to the smooth bark of the hist, with smaller, more delicate furrows and creases. And while there is a distinct absence of the hist's orange sap, its use in Dreamwallows points perhaps to similar alchemy qualities. You'll note a distinct caution to my suppositions. Any scholar of plants would do well to speak of the hist with equal parts curiosity and suspicion. Do I believe the Fanic is a sapling of the hist, inert or otherwise? Not necessarily. Am I making note of this thought so that I may capitalize on any discoveries made after publication of these notes? Most certainly. Until then, I will keep a keen eye on the humble Fanic. A lizard bear. A lizard bear.
someday you'll make something surprising with that.
Who disturbs me from my unending torment?
T-Rad needs your title votive to complete your funerary rites.
I left my votive on the front deck of my hut in Shelltide village. When I was alive, I enjoyed sitting there in the sun and watching the other villagers. I miss that very much.
Fair enough. You're making me go back to that town that we were just at.
A prosperous discovery.
Are you gonna fight? He just threw a rock at you, Xander. I missed this game. I really did. I was getting really mad. So I buy, well, 1 year ESO plus, and it basically, the plus, it gives you in-game like currency for the cosmetic store, but it also gives me a bigger bag, since I collect all the stuff, clearly, as you guys have been watching me collect all the stuff. It gives me a bigger bag to put all my stuff. Like all the things that you gather for crafting goes into a separate bag if you have ESO plus. If you don't have ESO plus, then you lose access to that extra bag and inventory becomes quite a problem, especially for a person like me who collects everything. So there's that. Also, you get access to quite a few DLCs, and there's a bunch of perks to it. Though that said, I do own all of the DLCs on my own. Crazy. I'm having some problems with the map.
I will protect Shelltide Village with my life.
Walk it off, you're fine. Come up here and grab this. This area does look a lot of fun, though. I know this is gonna sound like silly and like such a random thing. Seeing a place like this kind of reminds me of Minecraft, because on Minecraft I had a build very similar to this where I built along the edge of the water,
Be sure to wash your
and I was
hands.
really proud of it. I had a lot of fun in Minecraft. But if you play servers, prepare to have your heart broken. Servers are so mean. Anyway, wisdom of...
Scholarship. I can smell it from here.
Thanks. Wisdom of the times. Many years ago, I promised Waxanash, well, we know Waxanash, that I would lend her my blade should she ever have need of it. The least I could do after she placed her faith in me as we marched against the Akaveri. But I assumed it would be under the banner of the Ebonheart Pact. Imagine my surprise when instead it was the banner led by the champions across all of Tamriel, the Stirk Fellowship. When we arrived in Solstice, I was prepared to battle against the worm cultists. I had sharpened my blade, especially for this. Even had my armor polished and adjusted. But what awaited me on these tropical shores was far more than the war. There's a tribe of Argonians that call this island home, the Tideborn. They live in a collection of villages scattered across the western shores, with Shelltide being the largest and a hub for trade. It is also where many of the villagers bring their eggs to hatch, warmed here by the sandy shoals. Most curiously, there is no hist tree in sight. It seems that Saxel, for one reason or another, have lost their connection to the hist. Even I cannot hear its song, though some of these Tideborn tell me there may still be a tree on the eastern side of the island, beyond the wreathing wall. They mention this with blithe disinterest, as if I was asking for directions to a food stall. To learn more of their ways, I spent some time shadowing an egg nurse named Noki in Shelltide Village, though they are called shoal tenders here. She has given me an introduction to their beliefs. I will do my best to describe what I have learned. When an Argonian dies in Tamriel, they are laid to rest in the dirt so they may return to the Hist. The Tideborn believe that the river sorts their memories and decides which will be brought into the fold of the Hist and which will be discarded. These discarded memories, they say, become the Tideborn, that the river meets the sea of the void and its internal churn, and the tide carries them to the shores of Solstice, to the eggs which warm themselves on this shoal. As she explains this to me, Noki places a small strand of seaweed near the mouth of a hatchery bed, forming a sort of wall that protects the eggs. When she is certain that she has my attention, she lets the strand go and lets the current pull it towards the egg. We watch as it dances around the clutch, a delicate rhythm governed by an unseen forces of the current. Perhaps my spines gave away my uncertainty, because Noki took my hand and guided it toward the clutch. She had me hold my hand beneath the water, just above the shells. She stepped back and left me to marvel at what I saw. A strand of seaweed changed course and began to weave its way around and between my claws. I could feel the rush of water that it carried, and more than that, I can feel a gentle pressure behind the current. A pressure not dissimilar to Noki's touch. Later that day, as we sat on a short jetty revealed by the low tide, I asked Noki a question that sat burning beneath my scales. Why would this tide return what was discarded? To what end? She thought a long while about this, and as she gathered her thoughts, she plucked an urchin from the water and pulled slime and detritus from its spines. She returned it to the sea before she answered. All Argonians, even you, Hatamine, are born with destined scales placed before them. They are what drive us to be who we are, whether that is courageous, fearsome, curious. As we walk our paths towards them, some of us wander, get lost, or pass on before we ever reach them. And when this happens, the tide returns us so that we may walk the path once again, and one day, finally, adorn ourselves with our destined scales, iridescent in the void. I sat, and I chewed on those words for some time. It wasn't until long after the sun had set and the heat disappeared from the rocks beneath us that I became aware of a song. It wasn't that of the Hist, no, but something just beneath the churn of the waves passed through the rocks to the soles of my feet. A gentle rhythm, both familiar and strange. I believe, if what Nogi said is true, that I achieved my destined scales in this life. The freedom of my fellow Saxlil are proof enough for me. But there are many Eggkin who walked along this path beside me, who fell long before its end. Not just warriors, but slaves, those who once suffered the cruelty of the House Drez. Will the tides one day return them to the shores, free of their chains? These tired scales can hope. In the end, Noki was generous with her time, even when it was clear that I had lengthened her days and complicated her tasks. I am grateful for this. These thoughts are dedicated to you, Noki, to the time we spent together wading through your hatchery and stretching our aching bodies in the warm sands. Aw, I'm glad I hunted that book down. That was actually really sweet. So there's a mountain over here, but I don't want to go over there. I think I saw... And the next one is quite a ways away.
Hopefully, that you could say can be true.
We do the dungeon. distracted by the guy walking in the little area there.
And
That
that's
guy.
done. What's next?
I didn't notice there was a lizard bear right there. All right, let's go to the dungeon real quick since we're here.
Another chance at perfection.
You're not going to wait in line? I assumed someone so stunning would seek wanton merriment instead of beauty. Hold on. There's strength in your stance. Are you a warrior? I need someone who can hold firm in the face of temptation.
Why do you need a warrior?
That line leads to the Vale of Revelry, a raucous affair put on by the revelers of the Rose to honor Sanguine. What the Daedric Prince of Perversity has to offer, I do not know, but my acolytes sought to spread Dibella's light. They haven't returned.
You're worried because your oculates haven't left a party?
Revelers drown in wine, dance to exhaustion, or eat until their bellies burst at these festivities. My acolytes believed their devotion to Dibella would protect them, but the goddess of beauty has no power in the Vale. Please, I can pay you.
I'll get your missing oculates and leave the Vale of Revelry.
Enter that tent, but be wary. Sanguine revelers are as likely to turn their weapons on you as they are to offer you wine. Convince my acolytes to leave the party and exit that tent. I'll wait for you here.
I'd like to know more about Dibella. Why do her priests care about the Sanguine party?
You want to know about Dibella? If my acolytes weren't in danger, the things I could tell you, the wonders I could show you, but no, we have no time. She's the Lady of Love and the Goddess of Beauty. Sanguine perverts everything she holds dear.
Alright, we're gonna...
Beauty and love are about appreciating the individuals involved, be they flowers or persons. Sanguine doesn't know how to sip a glass of wine or gently hold a hand. He chugs and squeezes. He deals in excess. That's not love, that's greed.
One of the things that makes me tiny bit crazy with this game is that we have dealt with the god of excess many times. And the fact that we're acting like we haven't ever heard of it, like we've read this book. So I don't know, I get a little confused, like... Alright, here we go. Well, got much bigger than we expected. I mean, in fact, more than once we got trapped in a tent. Pretty map, though.
Going to need a moment. I'm not a young man. What can we learn today?
Can you move your fat butt? Didn't get me where I wanted to be. It's fine.
A most gratifying resolution. Ooh, this looks like a fun place. This game has the most satisfying pillaging system.
All love, all beauty is a gift from Dibella. Adore her and be adored.
One more word about Dibella and I'll chew my own ears off.
Oh, hello. Are you interested in hearing about the glories of Dibella? I won't take up much of your time, but knowing about her love would be useful in this place.
You must be one of the High Priest's Cororel's acolytes. She sent me to get you out of this party.
She sent you? Is she worried? Oh no, she probably thought I fell back into old habits.
Old habits?
Cororel didn't tell you? I was a reveler before she found me. I rotted away at these affairs, looking for love and joy. Oh, I was lost for so long. Now that I have found myself again, Cororel knows my fears.
If you're so worried, why would you enter the party?
I worry for the people like me. The ones trying to fill an emptiness with wine and frivolity. People who long to get lost in the moment but don't know how to find their way back. No one here wants my help, though. Time to return to Cororel.
Goodbye.
I'll make my way out. Let me just gather my things.
Pilot! Her voice nearly soured my drink. That orc said something about finding love and beauty wherever you look for it. Well, I looked, and I found it here.
Oh my goodness. Alright,
Apocrypha, take you!
I like their outfits.
think I can convince them to give me their outfits?
This wine tastes of warm days. But does it taste of love? Perhaps more would help.
Thank them for protection. Why would you? There's more where that came from.
Okay, sorry. Didn't mean to walk away from you, my dude, but there was a boss fight.
Ah, this one's wine goblet is empty. Where are the servants? An empty goblet is an unfulfilled goblet. It needs more wine.
Are you one of the high priest oculates? She's worried about you.
Cararil. Oh, bright moons know. Rakaman stayed too long. He only indulged to see how ugly drunkenness can be, but drunkenness shines and swirls. He can see the Lady of Love in the rippling stars. Cararil must know of this. He will tell her. This one will go now, once the world stops spinning.
Right. Still over here somewhere. I don't know where I'm going, but I guess I'll go this way. Oh, we were here. Well, that sucks. Guess we'll go back up.
I'm with you, cohort. We have an accord.
This way?
Find more as many eyes.
It's right here. It's a wine rack. Unusual wine rack, but I like it. Okay, now we gotta go find the other guy. He is somewhere over this way.
Nothing.
Just weave through the buildings. Maybe.
Ha! Watch me dance, flat-footed fools. I am grace. I am power. This is much better than sensually waving your arms like a beautiful flower or painting scenes of love. I'll kick my feet and scatter gravel to my heart's content. Are you here to dance as well?
High Priest, your High Priest sent me. She wants you to leave the party.
Carawel ruins everything. She preaches love and beauty, but only worships the things she thinks are pretty. Her definition of beautiful isn't the only one.
What's your idea of beauty, then?
I want to revel in anything that makes me feel incredible, like this glorious kicking dance. The blushing brush promised a life filled with people who are as pretty as I am. But Carawel's rules dull my appearance. My beauty fades under Debella.
If your beauty isn't with Debella, where is it then?
Here, with the revelers and sanguine worshippers. Here, you don't have to worry about appearances or being graceful at every moment. There's just feeling and glorious music. I'll leave this party, but only to tell Carawel to stop controlling me.
Okay.
I'll be out once I cool my anger. No need for Carawel to ruin everyone's fun.
I think that means I'm done here, right? So I think I gotta go this way. Will get me there the quickest.
Refreshing. Take it in. An opportunity for learning.
My dearest compatriot and lifelong friend, I cannot tell you how disappointed I am. You know as well as I the rumors of Sanguine's masterful feats, yet having secured an invitation to one such gathering, I am sad to report that their mirth has been grossly over-exaggerated. I longed for wine beyond compare in quality and quantity, merriment beyond my wildest dreams, encounter with maidens of insatiable desires, and music so divine they age or weep to hear one chord. My friend, I do not think we fully comprehended the destructive power wine has on the promised evening's activities. After several hours of drinking, wine loses much of its appeal. Merriment turns to foul headache. The lovely maidens complained that my breath was too sharp and my touch too unguided. Such was the fate of all who succumbed to the temptation of drink.
It weighed on me so that even the buxom revelry wanted my tender embraces. I would turn her away. As for the promised glorious music, sweet notes pickle in alcoholic bliss. Stick to the feasts and fests of the wealthy, my friend. Sanguine's followers lie, and the truth is more bitter than sweet. Isn't that true of every party? The thought of partying is more fun than actually partying. Oh, they spawned back. Okay. Alright, let's get out of here.
What do you... Apologies for the unkind words you heard.
I learned more about joy in that party than I ever did with you.
Please argue quieter. This one begs.
Apologies for the unkind words you heard. I hope Arewyn's actions did not lower your opinion of our sect. Not after you went to all that trouble of rescuing my acolytes.
Are they gonna be alright?
I don't know what they saw in there, what they experienced, but they will live, thanks to you. You braved the temptations of Sanguine and returned. I hope this covers the cost of your labors. May Dibella's love hug you like a warm blanket.
I spit on Dibella and
Search
your
for knowledge
brushes.
continues.
I will dance at that party until I'm ready to leave.
This one does not feel well.
She's going back. She's in the
There's
clutches.
beauty in all things, especially the sight of a foul person retreating.
Dibella's teachings are varied and plentiful.
That was fun. All right, I will be back with more. Hopefully, not so long in between. I am hoping that I don't break again. Thank you guys so much for keeping me company, and I'll be back soon with something.